Neighbourhood Watch. Chapter 2. Laura crossed the Criminal Investigation Department's open-plan office at Guildford's headquarters, returning a hi here and there, but she didn't stop for a chat. She left behind the busy colleagues on their phones and by their computers and headed for the small workroom she shared with Bill Stone, since he had caught up with her on the ladder of success. Bill had been appointed Detective Chief Inspector the previous summer, after solving a strange case of a missing twin couple on St. Thomas Island. For Laura, it had taken much longer to get accepted by old Henley, their boss, as the great detective she was, because he had problems with women anyhow, and in this job in particular. But since he had accepted Laura, they had found a way to trust each other. Meanwhile, Laura could see the parallels in their prejudices, and she was glad that she had given up her initial resentment of Bill's somewhat boyish character. He had proven more than once that he was a real grown-up detective. The moment she opened the door to their office, she had reason to doubt the thoughts she had just had. The room looked like the kids' activity corner at Toys R Us. A huge teddy bear was sitting on Bill's chair, and a kids' mobile with little dolphins and turtles was swinging to and fro from the lamp on the ceiling. A red and yellow plastic CD player in the shape of an elephant made funny sounds which, on second hearing, might very well have been an Indian tune. When Laura stepped inside, a squeaking sound from under her foot made her jump. A small yellow rubber duck. "We have a missing person," were Bill Stone's first words when he noticed Laura. "And I have a brother on offer. Take him instead," she thought. Bill was not at his desk. His chair was taken up by the teddy. Laura's very grown-up colleague was sitting right on the floor, his tiny daughter, Shirin, between his knees. She was wearing a baby-sized sari. The many colors made Laura close her eyes for a second. Shirin's black hair was tied into snippy braids with a golden string, and her cheeks were shining with excitement like little polished apples. She was playing with Bill's handcuffs, which he held dangling over her head. Shirin raised her tubby arms and giggled with joy. Each time she got hold of the handcuffs, Bill lifted them out of her reach. He glanced up at Laura and shrugged his shoulders, as if he felt guilty because of the situation. "Isn't she cute?" Bill looked apologetic. Laura answered vaguely. "Moira's performing an autopsy?" She pushed the vision of her friend Josh to the back of her mind. "She has some very urgent tests which needed to be finished this morning," Bill said, and looked unhappy. "Shirin woke at 3 and we took care of her until 6. Moira was too tired to do the work then." After a second, when Shirin shrieked with fun, the young father smiled again. Laura was wondering why people were always so crazy about babies. Even her long-time lover, Josh, was almost unbearable since Bill had taken up the habit of bringing Shiri into work. Josh came into their office more often than his job as a police psychologist would have required. As they had known each other for many years now, Laura knew that his visits had nothing to do with her but with Shirin, and a strange change in Josh's attitude over the last few weeks. Laura had thought they were over the subjects for years, but now Josh had opened up the discussion again. She shook her head. "So who's missing?" 68-year-old Edward McCarthy, retired teacher at Wesley Community School. Bill got up and went to his desk. He picked up a note. As soon as he started reading, Shirin started crying. His son Wilbur called at 8:20. His father... Bill hesitated for just a second, but Laura realized it. His father is disabled, needs a wheelchair, but mentally... Bill went silent again. When Laura nodded encouragingly, he went on. Mentally, he is okay. Well, he was not in his best this morning, and his wheelchair is missing as well. So maybe he's just out and about, Laura suggested. Maybe. The son Wilbur, he sounded concerned. I told him to wait until tonight, but I think we have to go and to talk to him. Perhaps there is more to it than meets the eye. Bill went back to his daughter and sat down. Laura watched him as he stayed focused on the baby. She said, "You mean I have to go there? Would you mind?" Laura couldn't avoid smiling. Bill looked like a little tomcat begging to be stroked. His thick red hair looked unkempt, as always. "No, I'll go. Anything else I should know about this case?" "Nothing so far." Bill seemed to hesitate. "Oh, hang on. Your brother called. Nigel. I gave him your mobile number." Laura sank into her chair and rubbed her forehead. "I know, he got me at my father's home. Oh, dear me. Now he's got my number." "Well, obviously he has lost his job again. He seems to have plenty of time. He's on his way here." Bill ruffled his daughter's hair, put the handcuffs down on the purple baby blanket in front of her, and said, "Now you can play on your own for a while, sweetie. Daddy has to work." Went on his side of the desk and looked into Laura's eyes. "He's always in trouble, your brother, one way or another, isn't he? What is it this time he wants from you? Money? Your car?" "I don't know, and I really don't want to know. But it's my home. He has talked already about... You know, the only thing you have to do is to be completely honest with him," Bill said, and took Shirin onto his lap.